Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing? See, we got a small but loyal crowd hung around for that whole intro. Good to see you. I don't know. I'm not a football fan, but I understand there might be a football game on tonight, so we may be the second choice for a lot of viewers. Let me know if I'm correct about that. I don't follow football at all, so I have no idea. So anyway, how's everybody doing? Good to see you. Let's see here. Paulie, Drone Bum, was in the chat very early today, and Drone Shots followed him up right after that. How you doing? Jody, good to see you. And then we got Vinny Falco. Is that Falco or Falico? I can't, I have to get close here and say with an I. Thank you for coming in, my friend. Good to see you. And Paulie, John Coopy's here. Hi, John. How you doing? Yeah, be scared, man. Be very scared. Old guy flying a drone. Look out. View Chaser, how you doing? And Rat RH is here. How you doing, my friend? And Jerry Cavalry is kind of hanging, listening in the background. Arizona Drone Dude is here. Good evening, sir. Good to see you. View Chaser, John Coopy, don't care about football. Yeah, I agree, John. I just wish they paid us, if they paid us drone guys what they pay these football players, man, it'd be really something worth doing. So I sent out a bunch of invitations, and nobody's in the green room yet, and I don't want to follow in Mel's footstep tonight, running out of steam in about a half an hour, but I guess without Lloyd in there, it's tough to do these things without having somebody to bounce off of. Paulie, that Tynyhawk 2 race gets some range, huh? Well, about the same as a regular Tynyhawk. It's a 200 milliwatt transmitter, and it's a lot of fun to fly. And I got the since I got the that flight that I showed there in the intro was the first flight or two that I actually did with the 2S China Hobby Line 450 batteries with the XT30 connector on it. That I changed the connector on the little thing to this XT30, and it made just a huge difference in the voltage sag that you get plugging those little 1S's in. And I think it's probably a smart move if you have any drone that uses 2S batteries, instead of using two of the 1S batteries with those little JST connectors, which aren't really designed to carry a lot of current. Put an XT30 on it. You can buy these 2S China Hobby Line batteries from Race Day Quads for $4.99. And they gave me between 5 and 6 minute flight on that little Tynyhawk 2 race, and it had punch like it never had before. And at no time during my flight did I start getting battery warnings or land now warnings. And even after 5 or 6 minutes when I landed, I still had a good deal of battery left. So I think somebody said it looks like a drone bit me. Here. Yeah, something. I cut myself on something there. I wasn't bit by a drone. I think what might have happened is I was putting some props on a big 8-inch drone, and those, and hanging on to them, and those prop blades are sharp, and that may have been resting up against my arm there. Anyway, I'll survive. It's I don't think I have to go to the emergency room for that little scratch. And then Paul, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And I see we're up to 20 people now. We got my friend Carlos in here to keep me company. So let me bring Carlos in here. How
Good
you
evening.
doing, sir?
You're out of costume, Mitch.
Yeah. Well, I'm not feeling very tropical tonight down here in Florida. It's friggin' cold.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing this sweatshirt thing, and very fashionable, mind you. It's got leather shoulders, and it's got leather arm.
Nice.
Oh yeah, man,
Man,
very
styling.
styling, collegiate, man. Just very college professorish with this thing on. Um, but no, I decided that I'm just not in a tropical mood tonight. I've been flying the past couple of days, but it's
That's good
been a
news.
little chilly. Yeah, it's been a little chilly. Went out today and flew a little sector 132 a little bit. But so how you been doing?
Just cold and yucky weather here and windy, so just taking it easy, relaxing. Not
Cool.
doing much of any flying or anything.
Where's Art? Art's usually eager to go here on Sunday night. Maybe
Maybe.
he went to his birthday. He went to this party last night. He probably had to carry him home.
Nah, he was on doing his
Oh
politics.
yeah, I have my New Year's resolution was don't watch any politics
I'm not.
anymore. Yeah, all it does is just aggravate me, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm leaving that all the yelling and screaming, just like remote ID. I'll come back in 2.5 years and see what I need to worry about. But
Right.
to agonize that, to go through that drama on a daily basis, to have this side tell me all the bad things are going to happen and anger and I don't need that anymore. And you know what? I think since I've been ignoring it for a week or two,
Feeling better?
well, not only am I feeling better, but I'm not angry. I was getting pretty angry at everything, you know. I kind of stopped getting angry,
It's good for
and
you.
believe it or not, I have a tinnitus or tinnitus, however you pronounce it. You know, ringing in my ears.
Oh,
I've had
do
that
you?
for yeah, I've had that for
Oh,
years,
wow.
and nothing you can do about it. But even that has almost gone away. So
Is
that
that
might
from
be.
the
It might
Army?
be from. No, I don't know what it's from. It might be from stress, high blood pressure. Could be from anything. They don't know. They don't know anything about it.
Oh, I thought it
Some
was
days,
associated with loud noise, tinnitus.
well, that can cause a certain amount of damage, but there's a million different causes for it.
Gotcha.
Um, but interestingly enough, every once in a while, I will have no ringing whatsoever. And
Wow.
lately, it's been very quiet in my head. I've enjoyed the peace and quiet.
That almost sounds funny, but I get you.
Yeah, Michael Blade, how you doing, my friend? Ed is in the chat. Good to see you. And who did I miss? Anybody? I don't think so. Carlos, you're here in
Drone Bum
person.
is here. No,
Drone
you
Bum, yeah.
Chaser and Minnesota
Drone
Patrol,
Bum.
John Coopy, everybody's here.
Drone Bum was here. Drone Bum was here early, and
That means he'll pass out in a half hour.
well, he said he was going to take a nap.
Oh, there you
Um,
go.
he said
That
he's
sounds
going to.
about right.
That was his first comment way up in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. It says, I'll take a nap so I can be wide awake for tonight, maybe. So he hedged. You know, he did hedge. He did hedge a little bit.
There you go.
I'm wondering if Ray Kelly's going to come in so we can talk a little bit about this Sebastian thing. Everybody's already committed to come down, and
I just heard, I have a client that went, well, I called him. He goes, I asked him if he was in the office. He goes, no, I'm in Florida. I go, wow. So I asked him if they took any COVID test or anything, or he said no. And when he comes
No.
back, he says he doesn't have to test either.
no, it's wide. It's pretty much wide open now.
But even coming back is my concern.
Oh,
They're
well.
going to try to, going to try to keep me in my house for 10 days.
Are you driving?
No, I would fly then. If I could fly
Oh.
without having to not get injected or what do they call that?
Yeah, I don't think.
Locked
You know,
up,
it's
I'd
hard
fly
to
in a
say.
heartbeat.
Hard to say. You know, they keep. I don't know whether they have a political motive to keep this thing going anymore, or whether they like the idea that people are getting used to being pushed around and told what to do, and they might want to do more of that. So we'll just have to see. You know, it's a couple months away, so a lot can happen in the next couple months.
I would just go and maybe come back. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, or you can stay down here for 2 weeks and fly every day. That wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah. What a way to go. I wish I had that much time to go.
Yeah,
to go away.
that wouldn't be bad. But at any rate, what happened was we were gonna, I mean, we had planned to have it at that inlet, Sebastian Inlet, but turns out I went down there. It's a state park, and
Mm,
drone flying is outlawed. So I called Ray up and down in Sebastian they've got a park on the water that he said would be and one of the benefits is there's a lot of it's closer to downtown. There's a lot of restaurants and other things around close
mm.
by. So as soon as I get the exact location from Ray, I'll run down there to do a flight, photograph the whole mess, from the drone, and then
Reconnaissance.
exactly, it's a little scouting mission, and then we'll see.
But this
We'll
isn't the
see.
place where it was very narrow where you were flying. That's the same place?
No,
were
no,
flying
that
the-
was
Okay.
where we were flying was a causeway bridge that went over the intercoastal, and
Okay.
no, it's I don't know what it looks like, but we'll see. But rest assured, we'll find someplace nice to fly for all of us.
I'd be happy flying in that park right by you.
Well, we may all
Kidding
end
me?
up in the park.
That's can't beat that.
If we get chased out of everywhere else, we might end up in the park. Yeah. So
Now, does that park where you go, do they have facilities where you can barbecue? Or do they allow barbecuing there?
yeah, I think they have some
If you wanted to?
yeah, picnic benches and barbecue areas and
Or can you
where
bring your own, like by the gazebo where you fly?
I don't know. I
Oh, okay.
don't know if you can or not.
Hmm.
I don't ever barbecue myself out there, so I go out there just to fly. That's about it. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see. And Michael Blade's coming. He says his wife only cares about the beaches. Yeah, the water's going to be a little chilly in March, but
I would think.
yeah, but I think that for Northerners, it's just right.
75,
Yeah.
70s.
So what I'm wanting to do tonight is I want to put you a little on the side. Is I'm building this.
Which is?
The frame is a diatone Roma 3, kind of like a tiny toothpick or micro or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be way under 250 grams. Small, you can see the size of it. 2.5 or 3-inch props, and it's got the DJI Caddx Vista in it, right back here, and it ought to be just an absolute fun flying little thing. It's got the dead cat.
I was just going to say, as a dead cat style.
Yeah, dead cat style. So you see no props in the camera. And what I'm going to do tonight is I actually got it built. It's all built and mostly configured in Betaflight, but obviously it won't fly quite yet because there are no motors on it. So yeah, so the motors just came in. We're going to put the motors on this thing tonight, wire them up. We're going to go into Betaflight, I think, and we're going to get the motor directions set right, maybe flash the firmware on the ESCs for bi-directional D-shots, set up RPM filtering to make it nice and smooth, and get it all ready to fly, if that won't be too boring for you guys. So
Are you going to mess with, what is it, BL Heli, possibly?
yeah, I'm going to.
Okay, I want Paul to pay attention to that one.
Yeah, I'm going to do BL Heli. Well, for two reasons. When I put the motors on, the odds are that one or more of them is going to be turning in the wrong direction, so I'll need to go into BL Heli to reverse. But while I'm in BL Heli, I'm going to flash the firmware on the ESCs to the latest version that has bidirectional D-shots that lets you have set up RPM filtering. And it's got the latest version of Betaflight on it too. So it's got the R9 long range, 900 megahertz receiver in it, and the DJI Vista. So this ought to be a fairly long range, tiny little quad, and with a 854S on top of it, it should still come in under 250 grams. And I think that I ought to get maybe 10-minute plus flights out of it. And I'll tell you what, I'm actually, Carlos, enjoying flying these tiny little things.
I'm telling you, as long
I
as you're
love
up in
them.
the air,
Yeah, the
size
Acrobat.
doesn't matter.
I mean, the
Acrobat
Acrobat
is
just
really
moves. And this thing is almost the size of the Acrobat, just maybe a tiny little bit smaller. So we're gonna do that
So
tonight.
you have to
and
take
here,
that top plate off, right? No,
no, I don't have to do that now. It's all
to
built.
put the
No, actually, if you look, you can see that
you'll be able to
I'll
solder.
be able to solder. Yeah, they all
Wow.
stick right out the side there. See?
You're good. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I put it all together. I wanted to, get as
Gotcha.
far. I didn't want to build the whole thing on a live stream. That gets a little boring. But I got these cute little motors. And speaking of cute little motors, we got Art.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Hi, Art.
Sorry I'm late. That child safety seat was stuck to my ass.
From your Uber ride home last night.
I went out to dinner with my sister and my niece and her husband. We went to Texas Roadhouse.
Ah, that's nice.
So that's why I'm a little bit late tonight.
And you weren't even in Texas. Pretty cool.
No.
Good deal.
No.
Hey, John Coopy says, nice. I'm building a long-range dead cat quad. Yeah, and a tiny little micro one too, John. Getting ready for that sub 250 stuff, so I don't have to deal. I think we're all going to be flying these tiny little things. Listen, if I can throw the DJI system in it, the Caddx, and get that kind of range and that kind of image in the goggles, and put a long-range receiver, either R9 or Crossfire. I had one R9 receiver left. I'm kind of switching to Crossfire, but I have one R9. I had one R9 receiver in a bag, so I figure I may as well use the thing, and I put it in this. I think that this might be a trend. I'm enjoying it. You fly with you get to fly with these much smaller batteries. This is it's an 854S. This is this little 653S. Either one of these batteries would probably fly this thing. So that's going to be fun. Art?
Yes. Yeah.
I know I showed this to you last night, but
Yeah.
here's your little
Yeah.
Mobile. And I wanted to ask you, Carlos, do you like the way the Mobile 7 flies?
I did not in the beginning, but I think I need some PID tuning.
I tried to fly it on 1S, and
I've never done that.
it was it was not enough for it. I mean, I was almost full throttle just to get it off the ground, but I did manage to get it around the yard a couple times. So
Okay.
it is working. The camera and the VTX on it are pretty good.
Yes.
But this is the one that Art sent me in a bag of pieces, and
Gotcha.
managed to.
It was just a matter of putting it back together again?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just a matter, I mean, these things
I know they're not.
are a pain in the neck. Everything is so tiny, and you have to
Yeah.
get that. You have to get that flight controller on those grommets just right and get all that
Right.
stuff. Yeah, but no, it went together okay. So I'll send this back to you, Art. I'll throw it.
Awesome. Thank you
Little-
very much,
little
sir.
package. Not that you're going to be able to do anything with it, because Carlos, it ended up having a Fly Sky in it, not a Free Sky.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm trying to bind this thing to the radio for an hour and a half, wondering what in the world am I doing wrong here. It's got a big ass bind button, real easy to find on the bottom, no problem. Won't bind, no matter what I do, it won't bind.
Then you
And of
took a
course,
look.
when Art bought it used on this auction site, it didn't come with all the instructions and all the little extra stuff that comes in the package when you buy it. So I'm looking at this thing, and I finally was ready to tell Art that, sorry, Art, you bought a dud. So I went into Betaflight, went into the CLI to look at the version of the firmware, and it ended with FS. And I noticed in looking at the different firmware available, there was one that said FR and one that said FS. And I said, pretty sure that FR is Free Sky and FS is Fly Sky.
Sure enough.
So I went, fortunately I have a multi-protocol transmitter. So I said, let me take a shot at binding it to a Fly Sky. Sure enough, bound right up to it. So,
So-
it
What's the name of the module I'm going to need to put on my Tyrannus?
The module is I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this link. It's 100 miles long here. I'm going to put it in the chat, Art, and
Okay.
see if you can see if it'll work. Not, it's too long. It won't let me. Won't even
What
let
do
me
they
put it
What
in
do
the
they
chat.
charge for that?
39 bucks.
Yeah.
So I'll email you the link to that.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
it's called a jumper. Here, let me just you can go ahead and just Google it. You'll find it.
Okay.
Bang.
You know
good,
what,
bang.
Mitch? You might be able to put it on the StreamYard chat.
Well, that's no, I see what you're saying. You don't
Yeah.
think that's got a 150 character limit?
I'm not sure. Find
Well,
out.
let me see if I can. I can't even.
Hello to
this
Mr.
website.
Matt Kendiff. He was over at Adrian.
Here, Art, I'm
Oh.
going to put into. Oh God.
And Michael Blade, by the way.
This.
I did get an
is.
Amazon gift card, so maybe I could
No, well,
use
I don't know
that.
if they got it. I don't know if they have it on Amazon. I didn't look on Amazon. It didn't come up in any of the shopping search results. But there it is. It's just called a JP 4-in-1 from Jumper. If you Google
Okay.
that, you'll find it. You'll find it on Banggood.
Okay.
I don't think
Here's-
that's worth it, Art, personally.
here's-
Can you
here's
sell
what it-
that Mobula to somebody else?
Here's what it looks like. It just
Mhm.
looks. It's just a module like the R9
Yep.
or Crossfire that plugs right in the back of your radio, and it's got its own antenna, and then you just set your settings for an external module, and away you go. And
Don't
away
do
we
it,
go.
Art. Don't do it. Sell it and buy a
Okay.
FR Sky. Seriously. You're
No,
gonna
it'll
buy
work. It'll work,
I know,
but
but
it's a
to spend
shame that you'll
40
never use
bucks?
it. Yeah, you'll never use it for anything else. You know what
just
I
to
mean?
fly a drone. It's not
Yeah,
a.
you'll,
Well, I
you'll
don't-
never use it for anything else. Hi, Ed. How
Good
you doing,
evening,
buddy?
Ed. Nice to see you, sir.
Well, the gang's all
Hello,
here.
Mr. Ed.
I think they're waiting for you to start the building, Mr. Mitch.
Oh, okay. Well, let's.
I know some people said they're going to learn stuff.
We'll see. We'll see. Most of it, I'm hoping it won't take too long putting these tiny little motors on. But
You
let
done
me,
yet?
you guys watch out in the chat and let me know if anybody asks a question or anything like that.
Okay, we'll do.
And I will go over to
The building camera.
the building
Ah.
table over here. And I will scoot over here. And it's working. Camera's working. You know what? I got another light for this. Maybe that'll hopefully light up this side of it a little better.
Right.
I noticed that a lot of these things, it was dark. So, anyway,
Ed, you might want to mute yourself.
why? What happened? What's wrong with Ed's audio?
Sounds perfect now. Never mind. Everything's good. Maybe it was you.
Say something, Ed.
Hello.
All right, it's all right. If you get
I was
annoying,
listening to something. Don't
if
worry
you get
about it.
annoying, we'll mute you. Anyway, I bought these
Hey,
little.
we know you have no problem with that.
I bought these little Zing camo little motors. They're the cutest little things. Comes with a bag of screws. Can you see that? Here, let me zoom in on this little puppy here. They're 1105s, and they have that camo finish on them. Can you make them out?
That
And
looks pretty cool.
Let me zoom in some more and see if I can get a close up of this. There
right
they are.
there.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that adorable?
Oh, you can see that from the sky.
That's just awesome.
tiny little 1105 4600 kV. This little puppy ought to scream with these motors on it.
It's an adorable little motor.
Well, I mean, it's important that your motors be
It's
your
a cute
motors
little
be
muffin.
adorable. So anyway, we'll just chat away, guys, and I will try to keep track of all these tiny little screws. And I'm going to take a little lens cap here, and I'm going to take some blue Loctite and stick it in the little lens cap. I don't know if you really need me to narrate this whole thing, but I've got. Let's see if these little screws are long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. These things are made for arms that there's almost not enough screw there to hold on to this thing.
You got
The
your
longest
rock
screws?
shot.
Well, I want to see if the screw is long enough.
I'm sure you have screws that are up to the
Well,
task.
I may, and I may not. I may and I may not.
Wait
That
a minute.
screw is not long enough. These things have 3mm arms on them, and I think maybe these little motors are designed for 2mm arms. And also, it looks like the hole in the center. Now, this is the size motor that's 9mm hole size that these are made for, but it's got. Every time I plan to do something on the
I was
screen,
going to say this happened
something
last week.
something screws me up. It's got a little circlip on the bottom here, okay, and the hole
They're not matching.
here in the frame. This hole right here
It's a
is not
quad.
big enough, so I have to take a drill bit and chamfer that edge a little bit.
Oh,
You
fun.
need a reamer.
Yeah,
That's
or
what you
just
need.
a 1/4-inch drill bit, just to drill enough of
that'll
a
work.
chamfer in there to make room for this. But let me just see. Let me take one of these longer screws, which are the prop screws, and make sure that the holes all line up, and we'll make sure that.
We can go forward.
Have
What's
you
that?
ever used arm guards, Mitch?
Arm guards. You mean?
Well, they fit on the tips of the arms, but the screws also go up through the motor, so it acts like a spacer
Sure.
for the
Like
motor.
the
yeah,
Nazgul.
yeah. The
Nazgul has that?
yeah. You know what else has that is my Sector.
Oh, nice.
Sector has that
super
where
chat.
the
Rick.
plastic, the motors sit on top of the plastic. But I didn't want to put ducts on, or guards on this one. I wanted
Prop
this just
guards.
to be a little hot rod.
Mr.
Yeah.
Rick Halber gave you a
I wasn't talking
$14.99.
about prop guards. I was just talking about guards for the end of the arm.
Oh, you're talking about just to go on the ends. No,
Yeah.
I could probably 3D print a set of those.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick Halber,
There
thank you
you
very
go.
much, my friend. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you. What did he say?
exactly.
Keep up the great work and please pick up some bananas for Spanky. Yeah.
That's fine.
Thank you, my friend. I'll tell you, let me see if I got the screws for this. Let me see if I've got enough. I've got a box of screws, about some pounds worth. Unfortunately, all the small screws, I seem to have used most of them up. Now here's
There's hope.
here's a screw that looks like it might be long enough. Let's see.
Ed, did you do any flying today, Ed?
I flew 7 packs today.
Did you really? Good for
Nice.
you.
Tynyhawk? All Tynyhawk?
Yeah, the Tinyhawk.
Now I'm going to need like a 6mm screw, or it looks like
That's
even a
what she
5.
said.
Looks like a 5mm.
I've never had any chick ask for a 6mm screw. Okay.
Oh, this is not looking good, guys. I can't
Mm-hmm.
believe this. I hadn't even I opened the motors up to look at them, but I never gave a thought to. This is the fun of building your own quad.
Especially when you're building it live.
Yeah. I mean, if you're making a video of the build, you can. All right, these screws aren't 6mm screws aren't too long. You have to be careful that the screw doesn't hit the motor winding if it's too long.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I let's see how many of these I have. I only have like 5 of these. I may have some more elsewhere.
Are you paying attention to the chat, Carlos?
Oh, I saw that
Art,
$5 super
Art
chat.
gave
Yeah,
me $5. Thank you, Art. Appreciate that.
that's a
Very nice
stimulus.
of you.
That's a stimulus.
Stimulus, yeah.
Stimulus.
Yeah, you guys don't let me miss if there's anything I need to deal with. Now I got a whole bunch of assorted screws, but to try to, I mean, I can build this with 2 screws per motor, and then just put in the
Afterwards.
two screws will hold the motors in with no trouble. Yeah. So let's see if I can find
Yeah, you need
8
some tweezers, Mitch.
8 of these 6 millimeters, and I need to. That's the problem with assortments. You buy these assortments, and then 2, 4, 5.
Need 3 more.
Just throw that bag away. Get rid of that bag.
Yeah, you're right. Throw the bag. I did have. I thought I had 5 of them, and then I found another one, but did I set it down here somewhere? All right.
You know what I want? I want a screw cutter.
I was just gonna say, cut one of the longer ones.
Because and I'm an electrician, so I have a set of strippers for stripping wire, and they also have what they call bolt cutter, screw cutters in them, to where they'll do 632s, 832s.
Yeah, I have a pair of those, and but they don't work real good on these tiny little metric things.
Well, because you got to have the right set for them. That's all.
All right, so let's get some tweezers here.
Mr. Jaybird Drone has joined the chat, saying hello to everyone.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Jaybird.
Hey, Joe.
So there's another one. That's too long. See, this is fascinating, isn't it, guys? Watching Mitch fish for screen. This is my equivalent of a fishing channel, Art.
It's like you're eating rice with chopsticks.
Well, I got 2, 4, 6 of them so far. And
Just 2 more.
Here's one that's probably long enough. Here, that one's too long. Not to mention these, all of these.
Oh, God.
You've been in a hobby, an RC hobby, as long as I have. You get quite a collection of a little collection of. Oh, there you go. There's 2, 4, 6, 7. I got 8, but I'd like to find a matching hex head so they're all the same screw.
No, I hear you there.
Let's see. All right, but the problem is I can't put any of the motors on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys chat it up for a while, okay? And I'm going to take this frame out to my workshop, and in about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to chamfer those holes out, and I'll be right back. So,
okay.
So let me.
We'll sit here and talk drones.
Let me give you. Yeah, you sit here and entertain the troops, and keep them happy, and I will make you guys bigger, and I will be right back. And see ya.
So Ed flew 7 packs. How many of those were full packs? 2 in front.
I flew them down. Let's just put it that way. They were old packs. They had been charged a week ago.
Oh, okay. So what do you get? 2 minute and change flights?
Huh?
2 minute and change flights?
Yeah, some of them were shorter than that. But I had some good moments. I'm still rendering them. I'm stretching them to the 16:9. And I did a fairly nice right-handed orbit, Carlos, around that tree out back.
Cool. What's up, Rhett?
I do have footy, Polly, and I'm still rendering it.
I didn't get to fly much this whole weekend. Actually, what did I go to the cemetery? Friday, was that? I told you?
Yeah, and you said it wasn't that special either.
Nah, just bunch of plaques on the ground and flying over them. Wasn't as exciting as I thought it might have been. No hands coming up. Chiller theater.
You're supposed to do serpentines among the tombstones.
Yeah, I was by the plaque area. Next time. Yeah, you know what would be cool? Probably flying through the row of like an army cemetery where they're all lined up perfectly, no matter how you look at them. That'd be nice to fly through.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
different.
they kind of frown on you flying drones at Arlington National Cemetery, just so you know.
You think so?
Just a little.
I think it's at all military cemeteries. They don't
There you go.
really want you flying drones around. Yeah.
That
Because
makes
here
sense.
in Colorado we have Fort Logan. That's the military cemetery out here. And the
All
one in
faiths.
Hawaii is the Punch Bowl.
You've been to Hawaii, Art?
Yes, I have.
Vacation?
Yep.
Nice.
1986.
America's a nice country, I tell you.
1986. That's hell and gone from now.
Yep. I got to go to Pearl Harbor, went out to the Arizona Memorial,
That's cool.
took the Gray Line tour that took us from out to the north side, and we went around the west side and through the tunnel. We went to Diamond Head. We went to the Punch Bowl there. That was pretty cool. Yep.
What is the Punch Bowl? What is this?
Well, that's down. That's part of Diamond Head, which is that extinct volcano that you always see in Hawaii 5-0.
So the Punch Bowl is a volcano?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's kind of shaped like a punch bowl when you look down into. And I went to Kauai, went to Waimea Canyon and Nanny Mao Gardens. That was pretty cool. And then I went to the Big Island of Hawaii. Went up to the top of Mauna Loa, and then we went to Kilauea, and then we went to, I think, Hilo on the west side. Went to the Black
Oh,
Sand
you're all
beaches.
still here. Wow.
Yep.
Hiya, Bob. Bob
Have you
Casey.
Have
just
you been
joined
Have
us.
you been
It's
entertained? Have you been?
not just Bob Casey. It's Bob Casey Aerials has joined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you been entertaining while I was gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
were
talking
jumping
about
to-
Hawaii.
All right.
Talking-
The holes are bigger now.
No better.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
The
So,
holes are
yeah.
bigger now.
Mhm.
So we
That's
don't
what she
we don't
said.
want the motors to hit. That looks fine. Okay, so let's get rid of this mess that I made over here with all these screw things. Get them out of the way. Go back over to here.
Mhm.
Do this again, and pick up where we left off. All right. So
Where were we?
we're gonna bolt some motors on. You guys, that one screw that I couldn't find, was in the was in the hole that I put it in to
Really?
try it out. Yeah. So that's why I couldn't find it. Okay. So let's make sure we put the motors on the top and not the bottom. Anybody ever do that without thinking? Mount a motor and then realize you put it on the wrong side of the.
I don't think I've done that yet.
Well, I just dropped the whole screw into the.
We just started, Mike. Mike Night Train has joined the chat.
Oh, hi, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
So let's put a touch of Loctite, but not too much on there. And there we go. Just got to make sure these screws aren't too long.
Your audio just went kaput
Did it?
for a second. No,
No,
never mind.
he's
It's good
back.
now. You're back.
Huh. I wonder what happened. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to put 2 screws per motor in for right now, and then when I get the right I get some more screws. But and watching some of these guys' channels, I was watching Tommy, Umagod, you know who he is? He's the guy who designed the Acrobat. He says that he only uses two screws per motor.
I've gotten a couple Betaflights that only have 2 screws on a motor.
I've had some that have 3. Okay, so that that's on there. Cute little thing, isn't it? All right,
It's horrible.
It is. I got to order some. I like to have a good assortment of spare parts when you're building these drones. I don't care if you buy a kit. You're always missing. You're always missing something that's supposed to come with it that doesn't. All right. So let's. I like to use Loctite on these things, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Hey,
see.
Vinny, could be as much as just the motor has a bad loose wire on it or something, and it's not spinning up. Vinny Falico is talking about his center loop flipping over on takeoff, and that means that one motor is not doing its
Vinny,
job.
are you the guy that was out
Ready,
there?
set, drone. Oh, with Kelly.
Yeah, with Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly called me about that this afternoon, and he's got some issue. It could be a motor not spinning up. It could be a motor backwards. It could be a prop on wrong. But he said that they double and triple checked that stuff, and everything seemed to be right. So then we started looking at the flight controller and whether it was installed in the right direction, or whether in Betaflight there was an offset set in the gyro position. Sometimes if you mount your flight controller
Upside down.
than upside down
Backwards.
or at an angle, you can offset the flight controller position.
do
That
it.
might be set wrong, but it.
Yep.
So then he went into Betaflight, and one time when he booted it up, the little model on the screen would not move when he yawned the drone, only when he pitched it and rolled it. So that wasn't right. That was kind of like a gyro issue there. So hard to tell exactly what it is, and I asked Kelly to tell him to come in to the stream tonight, and we try to help him. So at some point, maybe we can get him on the panel or something and take a look at it, because
There you go.
it's a
That happened to my freestyle. I just landed it, and all of a sudden I take off, and all it would do is, it seemed like flip over after crash was permanently on. Same thing.
well, that's another thing that I hadn't thought of, Carlos. It may be that he has
The flip over after
the
crash.
modes set wrong, and
I was just thinking
and
that.
flip over after crash. Whoa, this is weird.
What happened?
Well, nothing. I guess that hole is not going to be the one that works.
Don't pick the wrong hole.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's out there, so I got to say it. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it appears that with the hole spacing on this frame, you're not going to get 4 screws in, no matter what you do. The way these holes are elongated, it looks like you're going to get 3 screws in maximum, which is okay. And I think 2 screws are enough, as long as you use
On the
Loctite.
first 5-inch I got, it's set up for 3 screws. The motor mounting part, I don't know what you call that, but the part of the motor that goes to the frame, it has 4 holes, but there's only 3 holes on the Batman frame. So
Okay. That's why I like to use Loctite, because Okay, so I did put the motors on the top. That's good. There is a
That's a
detriment.
plus, huh?
Yeah, it's a plus. You know, I mean, there are some like the Tinyhawk now, where
Tinyhawk's upside
the
down.
motors face downward. So if I did it backwards, I could claim that I was making a pusher. And then when all you guys are gone, I'll fix it. You know. But never admit the mistakes on the live stream. So all right, so we got the wires in the right directions, and they
Moving
give me
right
plenty of
along.
wire. And we take the last motor here, little Loctite, and put it. And can you guys see what I'm doing?
Perfect.
Or do I need to zoom in?
No,
some
you're
more?
good.
Okay. Put that one in there, and where's my last? Here it is. No, that's not it. I know I had an. I know I
You
had.
know, I see Vinny's name and it makes me think of Welcome Back Connor, and I want to say, "Yo,
No.
Vinny!"
Vinny Barbarino.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear a guy with a name like Vinny, I want to say, "How you doing?" You know.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, forget about it, Vinny.
All right, forget about it. How you
Forget
doing?
about it.
All right, so I thought I had enough of the hex screws, but evidently I'm
Is it
still-
stuck in the quad still?
No.
That's
Yeah.
a cute.
Figure it
I
out,
like
Ed.
that. That's a cute little antenna you got sticking out of the back of that thing, Mitch. I
That's
like
That's the DJI Caddx antenna.
that. Okay.
Yeah, and
What is it with cute today? Cute motors, cute antenna. What's going
everything's
on
cute.
here, Ed?
Well, you know,
Yeah.
it's this is the
No, the motors are adorable.
the motors are
antenna is
adorable.
cute.
The antenna is cute.
Cute
God,
little muffin.
We sound a little odd here. That one's too long. Well, pooh.
Tempted to find that screw cutter, aren't you?
Yeah, tell me about it. Honest to God. One, I know that I found it in the arm when I was out there.
I know it probably fell out along the way.
Now these
it's on the
screws
floor.
here are all too short. But
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh God. Where's my rim shot when I need it?
boom.
It was just too easy. I couldn't resist.
Yeah. God, I thought I had it here somewhere. Somewhere
Maybe
I
it's
got it.
not to the motors. You know, the motors have magnets in them.
You have a girlfriend that you're not telling us about? You're in love? You're kind of like out of sorts the last 2 weekends. I don't know.
No, it's because I stopped being angry about politics, and now I'm happy. now I'm happy again. I just gave up and said, "Leave me out of it from here on out. I'm too old for this crap."
Like,
you know?
hey, Mitch, like Doris Day, K Sarah, whatever
That's
will
it.
be.
Same
will
thing.
be.
That's the same thing as the remote ID. Come back. I said, come back in 2.5 years and tell me what they did, and then I'll deal with it.
But you don't get any YouTube time on that.
What's that?
Ray Kelly just joined you, Mitch.
Hi, Ray.
Hey,
How you
Ray.
doing, buddy?
Captain Ray.
Well, I'll just have to use one of these button heads instead of the other ones. It'll work just as good. And then I can always swap it out when I get the correct
There you go.
screws, because I want to try to put that third screw in there too.
Just remember, it's the back left motor.
Line up. Well, I can look underneath and see which has a different head on it. Wow. It's
I just love those motors. They look like little mushrooms.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that these screws aren't too long. Some of them look like they're getting way too close to the windings. Now, why is that? Is
When
that
you turn
actually
it,
a
can
long?
you see that it's hitting, or can you feel it?
It's not. It hits. It can hit the windings. Now, like this one here,
Hmm.
and this one here are way away from the windings. But I think that one I put in was too long. The one
Just
I
the
just
last
put
one?
in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So this one and this one are okay. But I think that that button head one was just a little too long.
And those short screws won't catch at all, anything, just to get you going?
Well, they might. They might.
Just
So
so everybody knows, the windings do not spin. It's just the outer part. But you
correct.
don't want the screw shorting out the windings, because if they dig into the windings, it takes the insulation off of them.
You
Yep.
are correct, Ed. You are absolutely correct, and so you're not going to know that if it you're not going to know
If it's
that
hitting.
catches just enough to strip it, you know.
No, you don't want to do
So
that.
I need one more of those screws. I know I got to have it. It would be to be one screw short here would be a crime.
Yeah, you know
Here's
what
one
it's
that's
like to be one screw
here's
short.
here's one that's a little shorter than that one. So I will use this one. And that'll do
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's a good point, Mike. I didn't even think about that aspect, but you're right.
What did he say?
He said that it will short a motor, ground the motor to the carbon fiber.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
if the screw goes through the motor mounting thingy into the windings, that's a direct connection to the carbon fiber frame.
Yes, sir. All right. So we're going to do some solder. I'm going to get these battery straps out of the way. If I can get them out of here without
Ripping all the guts out.
catching on everything. Yeah. There we go. This one is far enough out of the way. Okay. So you can see I have the 4 adorable motors. And what I want to do
It's
now.
adorable, Mitch.
Yes. And so are you, Art. I want to get these things down flat, so I think I may change it later, but I'm going to use some tie wraps for the time being to hold the motor wires in place. So let's do this. I don't know if I'm building and nobody's watching me.
You got
the old
24
thing-
people watching.
No, what I'm saying,
man.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, the old, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it make
Is there
a sound?
a sound?
Yeah, so I said to myself, if I'm building when nobody's watching, am I still talking to myself?
Just thinking out loud. That's all it is.
Or am I talking because I'm narrating a little bit here?
Well, it looks to me like, from what I've seen so far, is that you already have your ESC pinned.
Oh yeah, because this flight controller came out of my old Tyro79. I decided that was a waste of components because I never flew it as a bottom mounted battery, props in the shot. So those motors were a little bigger than that needed. Those are 1507s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get maybe a 4-inch frame for those 1507 motors and build another long range deal out of them. So this was the flight controller that came out of that. And I like, sometimes you build a quad and there's things about it you don't like, and yet it has some pretty good parts in it. That the motors that were in that Tyro79 were motors that I put in there. The ones that came with the kit were terrible. So I decided to, if you remember, I decided to replace them with the GEP RC 1507s, which are terrific motors.
Gotcha.
Those are the same motors I have on the Acrobrat, and those things.
All right, so clarify something for me now, Mitt.
Certainly.
And that is, I see you running the wires up along the arms, and you're zip tying them before you've soldered them.
Just yeah, because I want to cut them to the right length and make them neat. I make them.
Okay, but the fact that they're zip tied already, doesn't that make it harder to put it on the pad?
No.
Because you can't wiggle the wire around as much.
Well, no,
Not
I
for
find
Mitch.
I actually find that it's easier, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, because if I have long wires like this, all scraggling around and everywhere, I won't know the right length to make
Where
them
to
kind
cut
of
'em.
neat. And since I'm going to use a tweezers to hold the wire when I solder it on anyway, and it'll be all pre-tinned, you'll hopefully you'll be able to see. I'll try to zoom in on that when I.
Well,
do it.
I mean, the reason I asked that is because I mean I've like kind of formed the wires along the arm to thinking about where I would zip tie it, but I wanted for some whatever reason to have more freedom with the wire as I try to put on the escape. So I would stretch along there and then cut, snip, and tin, imagining that it was zip tied to the arm. So I'll have to try that method sometime.
Yeah, no. What I'm going to do here, for example, is I'm going to take the inside wire here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
a
try,
good
and I'm
idea.
going to try to keep it in the frame. So if I move out of frame, just tell me I've moved out of the frame. Okay?
Just go forward until you're right.
There
You can
we
get
go.
rid of
Yeah.
that R3 mugs so you can make your screen
Yeah, I could
bigger.
do that. I could
You don't need
actually
us there.
I could actually go ahead and do
That's
that.
not
So
that
Perfect.
doesn't
That's
change.
better.
That looks good.
you guys can talk. Okay, so what I have to do here is now I've got these tiny, and these are tiny little wires on these adorable little motors.
Adorable.
I need to just solder them on these points, and you see these things stick right out there. It's real easy, and they're all pre-tinned, and I'm going to re-pre-tin them. So let me turn my soldering iron on here.
Move the bird forward a little bit. There you
There
go.
you go.
All right, I will try to keep it in the center, and while the soldering iron heats up, I'm going to take a break for a little drink.
Mitch, are these going to be a bi-blade or tri-blade?
Both.
Okay.
I've got some 2.5 inch tri-blade, and I ordered some bi-blade, 3-inch bi-blades with a lighter pitch on them, because these motors are a high kV. They want to be able to scream, and I don't want to overload them. And this prop, this size prop here is the same prop that's on my Sector 132, and that's got motor that's just a tiny bit bigger than this motor, not enough to make a big difference, but a little lower kV. So I don't want to overload the motor, like trying to run a car into, too slow in a high gear. But the perfect props for this are going to be those 3x2 two-bladed props, and I ordered them today. But it'll fly with the 3-bladed. It should fly fine. All right, so I don't know if I want you to be able to see with the light here.
You may want to zoom out a little bit and move it forward.
Move it forward and to the
Right
right.
there, right there. Stop.
Yeah. Move it to the forward and to the right now a little bit.
The drone,
Okay, I will.
not the camera,
I will.
the quad.
I will. I just dropped my remote control on the
Oh.
floor here. All righty, here we go. And there we are. Again, I don't know if you'd be able to see it. I'm gonna
Ah,
try to
that tip on that iron looks huge now.
Yeah, I know, doesn't it? Look. But the nice thing about this tip is the point, the chisel point. I mean, it's
No, I
yeah,
need
it's
to.
pretty precise. So what I'm going to do is go in there and just re-tin these pads, make a nice little puddle on there. Might be interesting. It's going to be interesting to do this and make sure that you guys can see what's going on.
We're getting a good idea.
Okay. So now what I want to do is I don't want the wires to be this long. I want to cut the wires. And I think that'll be a good length right there. And then what I do is I take, and I know the next wire has to be an 1/8 inch longer. So the center wire has to be about an 1/8 inch longer. So I'll cut that another.
Oh, so that's your formula, huh?
Yeah, and then the outside wire
Be a little bit long.
be a little bit longer.
You're
Quarter
so
inch.
smart, Mitch.
There we go.
That looks more like 3/16, by the way, instead of an 8.
Well, I'm looking at the distance over there. Well, let's just go to the tape.
Figures he has one of those.
Doesn't everybody?
Of course he does.
Doesn't everybody?
I like those little nippers you got, by the way.
Well, these aren't as sharp as the blue ones. The blue ones are I use for cutting, but these won't accidentally cut the thing.
You're using those duller ones for stripping,
For
are
stripping,
you?
yeah. A lot of guys just use their fingernails for this silicone stuff, and that'll work. But all right, so now we want to tin the
Harder to
bleeds.
do when you have a proper manicure, I guess, man.
Yeah, I guess. All right. So now,
Mitch, your solder is 0.06 or 0.05? What's the thickness on yours?
what, the thickness?
Yes, sir.
I think this stuff here is probably, well, let's
Oh, it doesn't say it on the
I don't
roll.
know.
0.065.
0.02.
Oh,
No,
0.0.
0.05. 0.05.
05.
Yeah, 0.05.
Mm-hmm.
I have thicker solder, but for this tiny little stuff, I like to use this thin solder.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to start with the first one here, and let's see if we can get into a good position here.
I bet
So
Mitch
you
would
get
be.
you can tin that motor wire before you went out?
I did. I just tinned
Okay.
them all.
All three of them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Operation.
This, I tell you, it's more difficult to work with these tiny little things than it is with the bigger stuff. That's for sure.
I'm telling you, I know. Carlos keeps talking about me replacing the camera on the Mobi 7, and I'm like, dude, man, I had a panic attack when I changed the camera out on it the first time.
Really?
A teeny tiny pad, smaller than the pads he's dealing with now.
Okay. So there's
There's
those
three.
three, and then we're going to go and
Tuck and roll.
tuck them under.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Bob. Bob is saying it's nice to see the professor at work again on a build.
Mm-hmm.
You
All
might
right.
want to move it forward a little bit, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you backed it up.
Perfect,
There you go.
perfect.
There you go.
All right. So there's the first one. Now we do the same thing. We take. Can you still see?
Yeah, we'll tell you when you're out.
Why I'm getting some feedback. I hear
Yeah,
myself.
I hear
Is
it
that
too. I've
coming
been
from
hearing
is
it.
that coming from one of you guys?
I think so. Remember I said that earlier?
Yeah.
I'm
I
going to
think-
mute myself a minute and we'll see.
Okay. Let me know if you continue to hear it. All right.
Ooh, that was hello, testing, 1 2 1 2. I don't hear it.
No, it was me that I heard myself echoing back.
Yeah, but it's because somebody else though.
It's because of somebody else. It's never my fault, you know. It's always somebody else's fault.
I don't know about the never and always, but this time.
It's true. It's true.
Check. Oh,
All right. So there.
Global warming is your fault, Ed.
Okay, so let's go into production mode here.
Yeah, pull that. There you go. Good job.
I mean, you could actually see that on there, that piece of insulation on there.
It's a high def build.
Yes. Okay. Am I still in the picture?
You're good.
Tin those tips. There we go. Oh, good job.
Ed, you still here?
Yeah.
I'm going to step away from the chat for a minute.
Alrighty.
Cover me. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
One more to go. There you go.
All right.
2 down, 2 go.
Yep.
Got the side done. You're out of the picture, Mitch.
Well, that's going to happen sometimes, Art, because I need to pull it. I'll need to sometimes pull it a little closer to see what I'm doing. But
Now we just see your beautiful head.
Yeah, we see all the moles you got on the
top. All the moles and skin cancers and everything else.
Yeah, you better have the doc look at that.
Yeah, they believe me. I haven't looked. I have. Guy comes at me with those nitrogen things, you know, burning pre-cancers off all the time. That's what happens when you live in Florida. You spend a lot of time in the sun and you get old.
Yep.
Isn't that right?
Well, same here in Colorado, but you're a mile closer to the sun.
Well, that doesn't make. Yeah, it does. I guess it does.
I guess there's some truth to that.
It does make a difference because that atmosphere does filter a lot of the ultraviolet out. If you have 5,000 less feet of filtering, there is gonna be a difference. Is this fascinating for you guys? Some of this work when you're building these quads does get a little tedious, you know, but the idea is you're supposed to enjoy it. It's supposed to be relaxing.
Supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys don't like to build, but you know, if you're in a big hurry to finish it, then you're not gonna enjoy it as much. But if you just enjoy the build for what it is, and try to make it neat, and
well, it's just part of the work you have to do to go fly, but
yeah, unless you buy the ones that are these days. You can buy a bind and fly for the same money as you can buy the pieces to build them. So
I do that all the time because I'm a lazy guy. Minnesota Paul joined the chat, just so you know.
I saw him in here a little earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, he might have been here for a while. Just for some reason, I thought to mention him.
I'm still feeding back. I think it might be you, Ed. I think you're listening through a speaker.
I am.
Yeah, that's what happens. It feeds back from your speaker into your mic. So this side, I'm just going to do all 6. Production.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can see if it works. I want this to go on all night. All right, let's tin these puppies. Can you see? Can you see all right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're much better. Hey, Chris Hope.
Chris
Good
Hope
to
is
see you.
here. There
Hey,
he
Chris.
is.
Yeah, we finally got Hope. Chris is here.
He's not in the. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's in the chat here.
Yep.
It is. It's Chris. Hey.
Oh, we finally have Hope
How you
in this
doing, Chris?
show.
What's up, Mr.
All right.
Hope?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you guys. You guys can. I want everybody to see you too. You can see what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, keep where you're at, man. This is wonderful.
You enjoying this, Chris?
Yeah, you did it backwards in the way I did it. I soldered mine all together before.
Oh, well, on this build, yeah, I didn't have the motors. If I had had the motors, I would have put them on first.
Gotcha.
But I didn't have the right motors. Whoop, there's one that just broke right off of there. So
Uh-oh, that's
that
no
one,
good.
that one
Hey, Rick. Yeah,
wasn't soldered
I had
too
that
well,
too.
evidently.
It took after 2 or 3 flights, I found a lot of loose stuff.
Well, this when I evidently when I was pushing it around to make, I bent it too much or something. But
And that little wire's fragile for some reason. I would have thought it'd been a little bit stouter, but
well, they're tiny little motors and it has tiny little wires.
yeah.
Are they wires or wires?
Wires.
It's a war in East Texas.
Yeah, if you're in Texas, it's a war.
It's a war.
But I
And what's
always,
that
I always
thing you
check
put
them. I
around
always
the
check them
screw?
all
It's called
anyway.
is that a washer?
It's a washer,
Warsher.
and it's yeller, not yellow,
Yeah, yeller.
as some of the northern folk will say.
And how about that state that's also the capital of the United States? Is that Washington
Yeah,
or
it's
Washington?
Washington D.C.
Oh, you got that R in there.
I can't help it because y'all can't speak like me.
Yeah.
It's not my fault at all.
Yeah, for us, the R is silent, like the P in swimming.
Okay, here we go.
Are they making fun of you, Chris?
Art's trying to be a comedian, and we've done told him I don't know how many times. That's why he's unemployed.
I understand
I
you
screwed-
perfectly, Brother Hope.
I screwed this. I'm trying to do
Thank
all
you.
this to make a show out of it, and it's not. And
Uh-oh.
I'm screwing myself here.
Uh-oh.
So let me pull this one off. If I'm out of the picture, I apologize, but I want to make sure this is
No, you're right in the picture good.
is on there right. But I got it all. Got it
So
all messed up
before
here.
Carlos asked you, Chris, did you fly today?
No, I did not get to fly today. I did get my batteries charged and got
And he went
busy.
shopping. Cool.
No shopping.
You didn't even shop?
No, I got hung out here at the house doing
Oh.
stuff I should have done yesterday.
Gotcha.
So
You're spending too much time online.
it's been a busy week for sure.
So how are the Cowboys doing in the playoffs?
Yeah, about like them Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Mm.
So how do you answer that one,
We
Art?
suck.
We suck
Last
worse.
place.
Well, we could have won the division with a losing record.
Yeah.
What's that tell you? A losing record did win.
Well, the Broncos were in that division. We'd be number one with. Well, we probably could have been number.
Art, you watch sports?
Not so much anymore.
You're a football fan, aren't you, Art?
So, Bob Casey, you're keeping the bird in the field of view very well, Mitch. but Bob Casey is asking you to zoom your camera in just a hair.
Okay. Let me look over at the screen.
There you
that's
go. That
good.
should be enough.
There you go.
All right, I will
Yeah.
try. I will try to keep it in the picture. If I move it over this way,
Too
you
far.
get a better. You
That's
get, but,
about
there
right,
you go.
right
but you get a better angle in towards what I'm doing right there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a good point.
So what I want to do. This is
Is
like
that better, Mr. Bob Casey?
this
Ariel?
this is like being a surgeon, you know.
You're not kidding.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Bob Casey's happy. We can continue.
You get
Yeah, but I don't
Aerials.
know.
I'm sorry, Bob
oh,
Casey.
you
Aerials.
jiggle. Make a good connection. Be steady. Very cool. There you go.
You teaching me how to solder art?
We're having a play-by-play on soldering. He's grabbing the wire and running down. If he cuts it to the right, he's in for the score.
So, what was the final score of the Saints Tampa game?
I don't know. Art, I haven't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't. I kept up with the Cowboys, but really nobody else. I do
Well,
know
I was
the
I
kid
was at
from
Texas Roadhouse for my birthday dinner tonight, and they had the Saints Bandits game on.
yeah, I know the
Bandits? Is that really a name? Bandits?
Yeah,
Bandits.
Tampa Bay. Oh, Buccaneers.
Come on,
Oh, okay.
man.
Yeah. Yep.
You gonna-
I know
you gonna-
because I thought it was, they changed the name.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Bandits, I think is that the hockey team?
I don't know. I never.
I don't know,
heard
but
of
I
that.
think Washington Redskins did a perfect thing by just calling themselves a football team.
Yeah, there you go.
That's perfect.
uh,
Right?
I
Isn't that what they called? The football team or a football
Yep.
team?
Yeah, something like that.
So
I know.
sad.
I know the Chiefs won. The kid from Mahomes is from Tyler, Texas, which is about 30, 40 minutes east of me. He went to school at White House, Texas, and the kid's done good for himself.
Mhm.
Well, Rick, my steak was perfect. Just a little, still red, not quite too much blood running out of it. It's just the way I like it.
Medium rare?
Medium rare.
Yeah,
put a
same
put a
here.
big old pad of this. Still got it out here. It's butter with got garlic in it, stuff like that. Let
Ooh.
it melt through it. And
God, you're making me hungry, Chris.
well, Rick's wanting to play-by-play, so I'm trying to give it to him.
That's what I had. I had a
God, I can't
6
see with the.
ounce steak for dinner tonight.
A what
First
ounce?
of all,
6 ounce.
ain't any country boy like Mr. Hope there, they know how to cook a steak now.
You think so?
Yeah, 'cause they grow a lot of cows in Texas.
Out of
Yep.
out of camera.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm just folding them.
What cut
I'm
of
just
steak did
folding,
you eat there, Chris?
just folding them under.
I
now.
had a ribeye, Carly.
Oh, that's what we always get, ribeyes.
That's my steak of choice because it's got good. If you can catch them with a good
Oh,
fat.
ribeyes are the best. Man.
Ribeye is what we buy.
Yeah.
They
But
got
man,
the fat
they're
running. They got the
expensive.
fat
Holy cow.
running through them.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. They're the best.
Well, and prime rib is really good too.
Prime rib is good too, but that's not
Yeah.
really like steak. Prime
No,
rib is
it's
better
ribeye.
as a
Well,
roast.
That's
My-
prime rib is more like a brisket cut of beef. No.
No, the brisket's off the front of the cow, up under the neck,
Ooh.
and the ribeye comes off around the back.
Gotcha.
There's several cuts of ribeye.
I like ribeye. That's the
I do
one.
too. These a lot of these restaurants are doing the bone-in ribeye, and they'll leave the bone, 8-10 inches of bone left in it. But that's
18 inches?
8 to 10.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was gonna
That
say
just-
an 18-inch ribeye. Holy cow!
That just that gets in the way of the weight when you go to buy one.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got them soldered on there.
Good. And
And
they're holding
appear-
pretty good.
That
Good.
appear to be holding pretty good.
No
So now
solid
the next step
joints,
here, the
that's
next
good.
step here is to turn off the soldering iron, as
Soldering.
they say, as Greg says, the
Yeah.
soldering iron,
Solder.
and
Solder.
solder. I think that's the way they pronounce it. And let's get this other battery strap back in here. Let's see which way it goes. Goes this way.
Nope. Yep.
Right, this way.
Are you sure?
Did you get your FR Sky with a barometer in it, Mitch?
With the what?
The barometer in it?
No.
No?
What were you talking about? What are you talking about?
Remember last week you were missing a piece?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I need a flight controller with a barometer.
Oh, the flight controller with the barometer
Yeah,
in it.
no, I haven't fooled with that anymore. All right, so that's that, and let's take, and we'll put a little battery in here.
What size quad is this, Mitch?
This is a
115.
two and a half
118?
or 3 inch. It's it's considered a little micro long range.
Kind of like a freestyle.
Those are XT30s, right, Mitch?
Yeah, XT30. Yeah. All right, so we'll put a little battery on here.
Little smoke test?
Well, you know what? I'm going to do a smoke test. I did
Don't you have that
I
little-
already did the smoke test on the electronics of the thing because I already had the flight controller working.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I do want to smoke test now that I soldered something else to it. But this is a wonky battery strap here. It's right here where I'm going through the loop. It's actually
Chubby?
gone up over a hump.
Is that an Eachine camera you got on there, Mitch?
Yeah, that's the Eachine version of the Caddx Vista.
Vista. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
they had that was the first one that everybody said was no good, but the pictures good, beautiful. I mean, I'm very happy with it. So they were selling them for like half price, so I bought a couple of them.
Oh, dude, man, yeah.
Yeah, because it's still got the same Caddx Vista air unit. Exactly the same. The difference is the camera. Okay, so there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to here, and
So where is here?
over here is going to be the screen when I get to it with Betaflight on it. Okay, so I
No,
want to.
Ken Heron's favorite.
What's that?
Yeah.
Ken
Ken
Heron's
Heron's
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah.
Ken
So,
who?
did we ever solve Vinny's problem? Did we talk? I mean, did he
I don't know.
get
He left.
any kind of answer whatsoever that might have been decent?
I don't think so. Vinny, hey Vinny, where you at?
You still here?
Went to Brooklyn.
Uh,
Doing
I
a
haven't
job.
seen him say anything for a while.
Doing a job with Carmine.
it could be anything. To tell you the truth, I don't think. Since I'm not flying it, I'm not really worried about that battery falling out. All right, let's plug the quad into the computer and get Betaflight cooking, and let's get the old smoke stopper
There you
and
go.
plug it in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Let's see, plug that
Nah.
in here.
Chris,
That just takes all the fun out of it.
Yes, Carlos.
did all those batteries charge at once in about an hour's time?
Give or take.
Okay.
Give or take.
Well,
Now what?
now I
some
got to
people
take the battery. I got to take the battery out because with the smoke stopper on it, I can't reach the
Some
stupid
people
plug.
suggest you plug all the batteries in the parallel charger and let it sit there for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, so they kind of all equalize.
Talk to each other.
Yeah.
All right.
And then do your
It might have been 10 minutes before I actually plugged it in, so I guess I did that
thing.
by
Oh,
accident.
okay, so you did it. Yeah, good.
I don't
Not on
like.
purpose.
I don't like those parallel chargers.
Oh, Vinny is still in the chat and he's still
Oh,
trying to
okay.
figure it out.
All
You
right.
can join the chat if he wants. I don't know if he wants, or if you
Yeah,
want him.
we're wrapping it. We're wrapping it up with this thing here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to this screen here, make it bigger. I'm going to make it all the way big, guys, so that
I think that's
okay.
a good
so
idea.
that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay.
Yep.
So we've got the quad plugged in. It's all lit up. It
And no place to go.
it is. And now what I need to do is I need to check the motor direction first.
Yeah, I remember that
Okay.
story.
Remember that step? All right, so let's connect to the quad, and you see that it's all moving around like it should. I've already set up all the receiver and the modes and everything else that I needed here. Basically, I just have a beeper, flip over, turtle mode, and angle and horizon. So that was pretty easy. But let's go to the motors tab, and let's click and see if the motors run. So let's see. Will it? Did you hear that?
I heard it.
We heard a spin.
Well, now when I hit the
The
master,
right rear
oh,
return.
no, I got the smoke stopper in there, and it
Shuts it off.
drew too much current and it shut it off. Yeah, so let's get rid of
There we
get
go.
rid of that smoke stopper. We don't have smoke. Okay, so now we're going to check and I'm going to set the thing so I'm looking at the rear, and I'm going to check motor number 1.
Motor 1 is the right rear.
Yeah, the right rear, and
that
it
always?
is spinning
Oh yeah.
the wrong way. Okay,
Wonderful.
so I'm going to write this down here on a piece of paper.
Motor number 1. Wrong way.
Long way,
is
as they say in Southeast Asia.
X, and X means it's not right. Okay, motor number 2 is the front right, and number 2 is also the wrong way.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, that should be spinning counterclockwise, and it's spinning clockwise. Yep. All right, motor number 3, which is the left rear, is also spinning the wrong way. I ought to just make this.
You're consistent.
Props out.
I ought to just make this props out
down.
because everything is already working for that.
So you're
And
only
motor number 4 is spinning the wrong way.
Well, there you go. It looks like a props out.
Except
bird
I
to me.
don't like to do the props out because then I forget, and then you end up putting the props on backwards. I like to have every quad. I like it to be the same.
Consistent.
Let me
Consistent.
check them
I
all again. I'm
understand
going to check them all
completely.
again. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. It is spinning exactly correctly for props out. So we're going to disconnect from that, and we're going to go into BL Heli. Okay, and we're going to connect to BL Heli.
Mitch,
we're gonna read-
BL Heli is something like Betaflight that you get to keep in your
You get
PC.
you get the configurator from BL Heli. Just go on to Google and Google it.
Gotcha.
There's BL Heli, and then there's this is the configurator for BL Heli S. Then there's BL Heli 32, which uses a different configurator. But this
For general purposes,
and most of the
BL
micro things are using the BL Heli S. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to reverse everything. Motor 1. Well, wait a minute. Motor. That was already reversed. Oh, I know why. Okay, so I need to make this normal. I made it because this came from another quad, so I had already set it up. So this needs to be reversed. Okay, and I'm going to write the setup. And I'm going to disconnect it. I'm going to go back into Betaflight. Whoops, Betaflight, and connect. Go to the motors tab. And try it again. So let's hit the master.
Mitch, did I hear you say you're going to write this setup?
Right, yeah, you write the setup.
It's the same
It
as saving?
Writes it, that means, yeah, write it out to the ESCs.
Gotcha.
All right, so. Boy, these motors. All right, so that one is going correct. That one is correct. That one is correct. So the motors are all spinning in the correct direction right now.
well,
Okay.
that's good.
Now I want to disconnect from this. I want to go back into BL Heli. I want to connect to that. I want to read the setup again, and I want to see what firmware I have on it. So I'm going to say flash all, and this is a GH30 select version. I'm going to flash it to 16.71, which is the version that actually has RPM filtering. Okay, so I have said flash all of these things, and now you'll see it's going to flash each one of the ESCs separately,
Okay.
and that'll take a second.
And this is BL Heli S.
This is BLLES, and there's a button on there that you can flash. There's a button where it says flash firmware on each one, but you can flash all of them by hitting the flash all button that's down here at the bottom. And you'd see that button if I wasn't in the way. So, there.
Oh,
This
there.
button right here says flash all. Right now it's not purple because I'm in the middle of flashing all four of these. You'll see it's flashing all four of them.
And you can find this on Google, BL Heli Configurator.
Yeah, just
Okay,
go into Google and type BL Heli. It'll come right up.
got it.
Okay, so just to make sure I got the setup written correctly, I'm going to write the setup.
If you
Okay.
could, why don't you explain for Carlos what the difference is between BL Heli S and the other one?
How technical an explanation are you looking for?
It doesn't need to be
It's
technical.
like
easy
it's kind of like the difference between Windows 32 and Windows 64. It uses I imagine 32-bit processing instead of, I think the BL Heli S is 8-bit processing, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert on that.
No, that's all I wanted to hear you say, because bottom line, if you use the wrong configurator and it doesn't work.
It won't connect. If you try to connect the BL Heli 32, and use the S configurator, when you say read setup, nothing will happen. It'll just sit there. You won't get those four motor things over on the right like you just saw. All right,
That's
so now
why I wanted you to mention it, just because people could get
okay,
confused if they go to BL Heli and they pick the wrong one and nothing seems to work.
yeah, it just won't. You'll be able to connect, but when you say read, it won't happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm testing to make sure the motors are still spinning, and they are. And the now I'm going to go into configuration, and I'm going to go over here and click enable bidirectional D-shot. Okay, and it says requires supported ESC firmware. And these motors have 12 poles per magnet. That's another setting you have. The big motors all have 14, but these little tiny motors have 12. So it needs to know how many magnets are on the motor.
Mitch,
So
what
I
is this?
set that to 12.
What is this D-shot stuff that you were talking about? What did you call it? 600?
Yeah, D-shot. That's the protocol that the flight controller is using to communicate with the ESCs. And
Okay.
there was one shot, D-shot. All right.
Hey,
so now,
Mitch,
now-
I'm going to have to split.
all right, Art.
So thank you for having me, as always. Enjoyed the show. Chris, good to see you. Carlos, Ed,
Adios.
everybody in the chat, have a good one. Catch you next time.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
buddy.
Good.
Take care, Art. Okay. So now I want to go into filtering, PID tuning, filter settings, and I want to turn on, it's already on, gyro RPM filter. Okay, so I want to make sure that's enabled. And now I should have RPM filtering working, and I have set everything else up. So right now, I don't know, did I go too fast through all that stuff with you guys? Any
No.
questions on that? I went in and used the BL Heli configurator to set the motor directions correctly. I went in and updated the firmware on the ESCs to the newest official beta version, which supports what they call bi-directional D-shot, two-way
That's the
communication.
wanted to know.
Yeah,
Bi-directional. What exactly?
Two-way. That means that the flight controller and the ESCs are having a two-way conversation instead of the flight controller just sending information to.
I see.
Now there is a way. Once you get this all set up and you go back into the motors tab, you should see right here. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing with
I
the
do.
mouse.
Yeah.
But you have a thing that says R0E, 0%. Once you have your RPM filtering set up, you can run your motors, and then you're looking. This tells you, it shows you the RPM of the motor. It's actually showing you that it is reading the RPM, and then you want to make sure that you're getting no errors or very low errors. Yeah, I'm getting 0.3. Yeah, so that's a way that you can tell that you have enabled the bi-directional D-shot. If you didn't have the bi-directional D-shot, you won't see this R and E numbers showing up here. And then you run your motors and you can see if it is working.
All right, so what I'm saying is now it's time to put the props on and take it for a spin.
Yeah, I suppose we could probably do that, but
That's
I
not
don't know
happening.
I don't know if I want to do that in the house with this particular quad. I will do that. I will do that tomorrow. But it is for all intents and purposes ready to fly. So let's unplug.
So, Mitch,
this.
what's the advantage of a bi-directional filter as opposed to one way?
Okay, filtering. That's a whole nother story.
In a quick little.
Well,
No such thing.
okay.
Oh, it's not that easy. I mean. Here's a question: why would you want it?
On the flight controller of this thing, you have a gyroscope, which is sensitive to different vibrations, okay, and resonances of some of the different components of this thing. But the biggest source of vibration is going to be your motor and your propellers. So what happens is the signal from the gyro is going to be at a certain level, but when all of this vibration gets involved, it spikes. It adds to the gyro signal and throws basically, I'm trying to make this simple, throws everything off. Okay. So what they do in tuning these things, in tuning the filters, is they had dynamic filters, which kind of tried to find the vibrations and then build a filter into a filter to knock them out of the gyro signal.
It's kind of like a shock absorber electronically.
So what happens since the biggest source of vibrations is usually the engine, if you can tell the flight controller, for example, how fast the engine is spinning every hundredth of a second, or how often 4K, how often it samples the gyro, and throw a filter in at that frequency, you'll make your gyro signal very quiet, and your quad's going to fly better. Okay?
So this is a matter of smoothing out your flight. Less
exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when you have with RPM filters are the latest.
Ed, mute.
Wow, I am really getting the feedback from you, Ed.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta maybe just turn your speakers down a little bit, Ed, or get some headphones, man, like the rest of us.
Hey, you know what? Can I throw something out there for everybody? And nobody asked me to say what I'm about to say, and I hope he doesn't get upset.
Uh-oh.
But I've been trying to get Ed, and I want other people's opinion to monetize this year, to do something different, and maybe I don't know, maybe he can make some bucks like everybody else is doing. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, you can, Ed. You can.
I think Ed's a good candidate. What do you guys in the chat
I mean,
think?
you can join the fabulously wealthy, big bucks YouTube channels like me. 12 cents a day on ad revenue. I mean, it's incredible. You know, maybe as much as 15 cents a day. It depends. It depends. You notice that I don't push.
We know you don't solicit, and
I
he
don't
doesn't
push.
either.
I don't.
And he
I don't.
doesn't even want
I
to
don't
do it
sit
because
during
of
my
that.
stream and tell you what my PayPal address is and where to mail me stuff. I don't do it. I just don't. I don't. That's not what I'm doing this for. I mean, I do
understand.
appreciate when somebody sends. It's very nice when somebody sends me a super chat. It's nice. People like to do that. I feel sometimes a little funny about getting them, but I'm not going to turn them down either.
Of course not.
To be honest with you, Google takes like 30 or 40%. I still don't know whether it's 30% or 40%, but because the numbers don't make any sense.
Right.
And with my tiny little stream and a few guys that throw me super chats, I probably get 50, 60 bucks a month. That's what I end up with.
Okay,
And
well,
that
that's
helps.
still,
And that
that's
helps.
still
It
help,
buys
Ed.
a little something. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going
It'll
to
help with the internet or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
it
it would
costs
be a
me
good
more than
thing
that
for Ed.
it costs me more than that to keep any channel going. You're buying cameras, you're buying drones, but it is nice and it's appreciated and Ed, it all depends. My advice to you is it doesn't cost anything to monetize.
Exactly.
And if people want to help you out and people want to send you something,
So be it.
so be it. Just don't
More
beg for
power.
it.
Right.
Because I don't like unless you beg for it in a funny way, where you're just trying to be funny. But I don't go on my I don't ask. Not since I first started in YouTube do I ask people to subscribe. Do I say click the bell? Don't do any of that stuff.
Or even a tip jar.
Yeah, nothing.
I get a kick out of
Nothing.
all
Here,
that.
let me get you guys in here. I don't know why I'm hogging the whole stream when I got
It's
a
all
panel.
about you, the handsome guy.
No, it's all about me forgetting to push the button. I'm sorry, guys.
Anyway,
See,
Chris, don't you think
No, the
Chris
thing
would
is,
be
I
a good
can
idea,
see.
Chris?
I can see all you guys in the thumbnails, and I'm
That's
looking at
right.
your thumbnails, and I'm busy talking to you, and nobody else can see it because that's why I'm a lousy producer.
Pop
But
Casey Ariel
I'm a
says,
lousy
go for it.
producer with a cute little drone with
Adorable.
adorable little motors.
Adorable.
I'm going to go back over here while we're talking, and put a prop on it and see how it looks.
There you go.
Yeah, I wished you would, Ed. You got the watch time?
Of course.
Oh,
He'll make the watch time. He doesn't go out of his way to do it, which is fine. If Ed,
Yeah.
worst case scenario, if you don't make it, you don't make it. But at least you tried. What the hell? All right, Ed, do it for me, please. Ed, I'll be your first super chatter.
All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. We got this goes on this way.
Ooh, look, you got a super chat from Mr. Drone Bum enticing Ed. He
Look
just
at
said,
that.
Ed, this could
Thank
be
you.
for you.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate
Some
it.
guy, Minnesota Paul, just posted a video. You guys know him. Check it out. First flight of the year.
Well, that screw's too short. That screw is too short. Let's see. Are these props really that thick?
Those props have to be 2 screws, not the
No,
nut on
that's-
top.
No, these are
And
just 2
coming
screws.
soon, Mr. Adventure is going to take to the water on a catamaran.
Oh, cool.
I'd love to see that one. Ed, this
What
week,
the hell?
I'm going to bother you every day until you do it. I'm going to be a PP.
There you go, a pushy one. Oh, pushy prick.
Now, that doesn't make any sense. What am I
No
missing
prop
here?
screws.
No, one of them,
It did pop up quick.
well, Okay. What the hell? Let's see. These little T mounts can be a pain in the ass with the. I like the nuts better than the T mounts, but
Ed, you're gonna try, my friend. You're muted.
well, this is absurd.
Edward Scissorhands.
Try what?
Monetizing.
I don't have. Well, I mean, I could always put a PayPal link in my video, but I don't have enough hours to monetize.
They won't even let you start
Not
with
if
a
you got.
subscription?
Well, you got to have 4,000 watch hours.
To start, even not just the subscribers. I mean,
No.
you got to start somewhere.
You got to have a
1,000.
4,000 watch hours.
4,000 watch hours, yeah.
2.7K.
Before they even consider you.
Well, you
monetized.
have enough subscribers, don't you, Ed?
Yes. Yeah, he has like 1.3.
1.420.
I don't know if these props are spaced wrong.
Ed, just try it. The worst they could say is no.
And they'll say it pretty quick.
Yeah. I have no problem saying no.
Could this screw be longer than that screw? Yeah, I think it is.
See, even Rat RH says you should try it.
You know that antenna is bigger than the quad itself, Mitch.
What? This
Almost.
antenna?
The R9.
Oh, this. Yeah. 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 Although this is as soon as I get a prop on here, I was trying. I had the screw was too small.
It almost looks like the antenna on the left is longer than the other one.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is. Yeah. And I didn't notice that until I put that heat shrink on there. You know what I mean? I put the heat shrink on. I said, how come I got a bigger space on one side than the other?
Yeah.
But and the heat shrink is the same. Okay. So you got to get just the right length of screw. So that's not that one. Let's see. We want one that goes this way. All right.
Rat RH is right. So just like Mitch was saying,
PayPal.
What's that?
PayPal's better than going through.
Oh, it
YouTube.
is, but people aren't. People do super chats for different reasons.
Right.
They don't do it so much to give you money. They do it because they want to talk to you they want to get your attention to ask you a question or say something. And the super chat is a good way of doing that. You know what I mean? When you send somebody PayPal, they don't find out about it until later. And
3 or 4 days, yeah.
yeah. So, it's a way of getting yourself noticed in the chat and appreciated real time by the host of the show who can say thank you and let you know right there that he appreciates the generosity. Which
Well, I'd like to say that anybody sent me a PayPal donation, they would get shouted out at some point.
Oh, of course.
But I get the instant gratification part of it.
And they may not be watching your stream when you do shout them out, so. All right, so this, I don't know whether the 3-inch two blades are going to work better. I'll just have to fly it and see. All right, so
Did you see EMAX super chat?
No.
Well,
I'm not watching this. I'm not watching the chat.
Oh,
Thank
the
you,
other
Brian.
two guys
Appreciate
are
that.
yakking over
What
here.
I think of you, yeah, you do what when you think of me, Brian? I hope it's not what I'm thinking. You're thinking.
Oh God.
Because that'd just be wrong.
Oh,
Rat is a cook. He's cooking.
Here's the thing, okay, Mitch. Here's the thing. I always just thought that balancing issues with the props would be more delicate with a bi-prop versus tri-prop just seem automatically more balanced to me for some
They
reason.
may be, but I don't know how big an issue the balancing's really going to be with these small little props anyway. Nobody, you got a big airplane, at a 14-inch propeller, you balance it. But nobody, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody actually balancing a quad prop, a 2.5-inch quad prop, to tell you the truth. All right, as usual, I'm missing one screw. I think I used one of those screws in the motor, and now I don't have it for the prop. But I do have some screws that. Is this one going?
Usually you have loose screws before you lose a screw.
Well, I have now I have a whole slew of extra little tiny screws that I don't need.
Hmm.
And,
I see Chris shaking his head over that one.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to figure out what you just said, to tell you the truth. Is that too long? Yeah, I think that might be. Well, I don't know. Let's see if it goes down in there.
Mitch, this is like the first time I've ever seen you, for lack of a better term, so unprepared for your stream.
What do you mean?
You usually have everything like ready there, and
No, well, this just shows you what happens, what you get into when you build these things. Little things that you didn't count on. Like I needed to make bigger holes so that the circlip on the motors didn't bind, but everything's running. These are notchy little motors.
You know what? Actually, Carlos, I'm kind of actually enjoying this, by the way.
Here,
you mean to
that's
see that he's human?
there's the size of this compared to oh, my camera locked up.
We're looking at your quad on the blue
Yeah,
pad.
Yeah,
but I mean
you
the
still
camera.
looking-
No, the camera locked up. I've been doing all this work, and you guys have been looking at that quad, but I don't have a camera. That's weird. Let's see if I
We
can
thought you
reboot
was
that.
looking for a
No.
screw, Mitch.
No, I
Yep.
was, but
That's
I mean,
what I thought was going on. I
I've
thought he's busy looking for a screw.
I've been active. Let me unplug that.
He's been active.
Hold on a second here. Let me unplug this thing from the computer. Replug the thing back in. Go into my. You guys are not locked up, are you? Let me go into my here, and let's go to properties.
It was weird on my on Adrian's stream. My computer camera didn't want to start. I had to restart the whole thing. There we
Now
go.
we're cooking. Okay,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Things
So
have certainly changed since
Yes.
the screen froze.
yeah. So this is the same size props, okay?
It's similar.
But yeah, so it's a similar size quad to the Sector. It's a lot lighter, and the frame, you can see the frame itself.
Sector looks a little beefier on the
Yeah,
Sector.
this is much beefier.
Yeah.
It's a heavier quad. So what I want to do right now is I'm gonna pull out my scale, and I'm gonna stick a 4S 850 on here, and see how much it weighs. It weighs 235 grams with the 4S 850 battery and the DJI system, all up flying weight, under 250 grams. So that would be
That's considered a toy.
Yeah, that's a quad that we'll be able to fly legally without remote ID or any of that other crap. So that's the idea. Without the battery, it weighs 135 grams. Okay, so this battery weighs 100 milligrams, and with the 850 battery, which I have over here, with this battery, it weighs. That's an 850, a 653S. It weighs 200 grams. So even with a bigger battery, it's still under 250 grams. So that would be legal. That would be legal to fly. It's kind of a nice looking little quad.
Chris, I think you'd like the Acrobat or even that Sector. I think those are your next ones.
Now here's the Acrobat. It's definitely bigger.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely beefier too. But let me tell
Yeah,
you, that
well,
thing flies nice.
you can see the motor spacing. No, the motor spacing width-wise is about the same. But look at the difference in the size of the motors. These are the 1507s. These are the little 1105s.
They're not as adorable as the other ones.
No, these are adorable, and they're pretty too. They're all colorful with gold and
Cute when they're little.
different colors. And
That should be your next bird, Chris, right
Look at
there.
the camo. Look at the camo on these motors, man. Look at
Acrobat.
I mean, these motors are really pretty. Look at that.
I got to get a pair of the DJI goggles. Is the big step, Carlos.
That would, yeah.
Hey, if you get that stimulus check from Biden, you're in the money. Got a $1,400 check coming your way, Chris.
No comment.
Yeah. No comment. We're not
Inflation.
doing that here. We're not doing that here. So at any rate, guys, that we did it. Accomplished. Built half the quad tonight anyway.
You could zoom out a little bit, but it looks good. Man, that camera does show some detail, let me tell you.
It does show detail. That's how I read the Eachine off his VTX a while ago.
Yeah, it's a Sony video camera. It's a good, good little camera. I've had it for years, and I just take the HDMI out and run it into a capture device. So I got everything I own strewn around here.
You did good, Mr. Mitch.
All I gotta say, I don't know what it is, but I think a quad looks better with tri props on it than it does with biblade.
Oh,
Yeah,
I agree.
I
I
agree.
agree. The thing about these props are going to have a bigger load, Ed, than the bi-blades. Even though these are 2.5 inch, but 3 blades, the bi-blades are 3 inch, but the pitch is going to be less. It'll be like putting a car in a little lower gear. It'll let the motors wind up more, and which will really let this thing screech.
Well, couldn't you just have tri blades with less pitch on them?
You can, but finding the they're not as plentiful, not as easy to find. It took me a while.
Gotcha.
Took me a while to find the two blades I was looking for.
What size are those
props-
blades, Mitch?
These are 2.5.
Oh, they are,
I
okay.
think they're 2.5 by 2540. Okay. So they're pretty pitchy at 40. And they're 2.5 inch. The 3 inch, if you look at most of these pre-built little Cinewhoop micro size things like this, they seem to come with, most of them, like the Flywoo Explorer and all they seem to come with the 2-bladed props on them.
So Bob Casey wants to see a hover test. Can we see a hover test?
Oh,
Don't do it, Mitch.
well, I mean, I could do it, but
I'm
things
gonna-
are pretty.
It's already 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and to try to set up the camera and everything so you actually see it. I mean, if it was a whoop with guards on it and I could do it right in front of me here, I would. If I could do it right here, but I don't have that. I got computer screens all over the place, and not a good idea.
I just gotta be me, Mitch.
Yeah, but there'll be a video of it, guys, pretty soon. I'm going to take it out tomorrow and fly it, test fly it.
forward to it.
So we'll see that.
I'm out, Mitch.
Yeah,
All
me
right,
too.
Chris, thanks for coming in, buddy. Enjoy your steak.
Looks
It's
good on my
gone.
back.
It's gone, man. Thanks, guys.
All right.
See you guys in chat somewhere.
All right,
Okay,
Chris.
buddy. Thanks for coming
smiling.
in.
Good night,
Thanks for
everybody.
coming in.
Ed,
Appreciate it.
have a good night, Mr. Ed.
All
Think
right, Ed.
about my suggestion, all right, Ed?
Yeah, monetize
I
it.
got your back.
I'll give you 99 cents on a super.
There you
chat.
go. See?
Yeah.
You're muted. All right, Ed. Mitch, take care.
All right, Carlos. Thanks a lot, buddy. Hey, well, we did it right on time. Got the little quad finished, and I'm really, really pleased with this thing. As light as it is, and comes in smaller than the Acrobrat or the Sector, and yet it's still got the DJI digital in it, and should have fairly long flight times and great range. So weather permitting, and I think it's going to be nice, I will take this out to the park tomorrow and run some batteries through it and see how it works, and maybe post a video. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope I didn't bore you too badly fiddling with all those little motors and props and screws and things, but it's what building these things is like. They don't just go together like Legos. There is a challenge in some time, and you do have to have a good assortment of spare stuff if you're going to get into this in any way. But hopefully that's what I'm doing, is maybe showing you the realities of what it's like to build these things that you don't see on these guys' builds, who just record the build and edit out all that screw hunting stuff to try to keep it into 15-20 minutes. It doesn't do that. It always takes longer. So thanks for coming in. Let me get a little exit music here. There we go. And Carlos, thanks so much for coming in. Vinny, don't leave, please help. Oh, Vinny. I'll tell you what, you got my phone number, buddy. If you don't get it from Kelly, and just give me a call when you're at home in front of your computer, and we'll see if we can't figure out what the problem is. Maybe we can Skype or do something. But any chance you can stay on a bit for help? Now, once I killed a live stream, Vinny. If you come in, if you want to come in to StreamYard, then I can do that. So what I'm going to do is post a link in the chat here to the StreamYard. All right, I'm going to post a link in the chat. You click on that link, and if you got a computer with a microphone and a camera, I'll keep the StreamYard window open even after I go off the air for a little while, and if you can come in, let me know. So we'll do that, and then we'll see if we can't take a look at what you got. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming in. Carlos, Vinny, Love My Drones, Ed at Minnesota, Paul, Drone Bum, Paulie, thanks so much. And thank all you guys for the super chats. I appreciate that. Chris Hope, good having you in the panel. Brian BMAX, thank you so much, sir, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Rat, thanks for coming in. Thanks for putting up with my screw hunting adventure here. Bob Casey, my friend, thanks a lot. I'm glad you like watching me hunt for little tiny screws. But we did get the job done. Who else have it? View Chaser. Thank you, my friend. And there's Vinny again. Rick Halber's in here. Rick likes ribeyes. Thank you, Rick. Good to see you, buddy. And thanks for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. And I think if I missed you, sorry. I'll catch you next time. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my buddy Spank, the monkey, and let him say goodnight. So say goodnight to the folks, Spanky.